Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the latest in my series of videos about how to pass an advanced driving test. And in this video I'm going to look at overtaking. What's required by the different advanced motoring organisations, what's required by the police or emergency services in relation to overtaking on an advanced driving test. Well, overtaking is one of the things that really, when you're a learner, you're building up to passing your driving test, it's not something that you really learn how to do, especially overtaking on single carriageway roads like we're going to be doing today. A lot of people are really sort of a bit shy about overtaking or a bit nervous about it. It feels wrong to a lot of people because you have to go on to what they class as the wrong side of the road to do the overtake, when actually we're not going to be on the wrong side of the road, we're just going to be on the off side of the road for a short period of time while we complete an overtake. So let's look at the two different main types of overtake that you could end up doing on the public road. The first is a rolling overtake. Now that's when you catch up with a vehicle in front, you can see that the overtake's on right from the very start. You move out and pass them without losing any speed, and I'll demonstrate that to you a little bit later on. The second type of overtake is a much more traditional, what we might call a three-phase overtake. And those three phases are, a lot of people class them as catch, match and dispatch. That basically means is we catch up with the car in front, we match their speed, we move around looking for the view, and then when the overtake presents itself, we take the overtake. Now let's be clear, we're not looking for the overtake, we're looking for the opportunity to overtake. When that opportunity presents itself, we've got to look at it and make a decision, and that decision is based on a number of things. We've got to eliminate all the risks involved in that overtake. So let's think about what sort of things we've got to, or what sort of risks we've got to eliminate before we move into the overtake. First of all, have I got somewhere to land? Well, caught up with an M2 competition here, that's handy, isn't it? So in my M2 competition, sat behind this car in front, in a following position, I am looking for, the first thing I'm looking for is somewhere to land. Is there a good space in front of this car where I can land after the overtake and then continue with my journey? Or am I going to have to force a gap in between a line of other vehicles? Is it going to be made more difficult because we're in a line of vehicles? Next thing you want to look out for is junctions on the right. Junctions or entrances on the right can be a significant bar to an overtake. And that's because, first of all, the car that we're following could turn right into that junction, and we really do not want them doing that in the middle of an overtake. Secondly, a vehicle could emerge from that junction, turning left and come towards us. Again, that is not a good situation to be in the middle of an overtake. So 99% of the time, a junction or entrance to the right is a bar to an overtake. I include a 1% there, the exception that proves the rule, I suppose, in that occasionally you'll get an entrance or a junction with a very, very clear view into it, and once you're certain that the vehicle in front isn't turning right into that junction, you can see clearly there's nothing approaching that junction, well then, yeah, maybe the overtake's on. But 99, probably 0.9% of the time, junctions to the right is a bar to an overtake. Same with junctions to the left. There's not as much risk with the vehicle in front turning left into a junction, but you could have a vehicle coming up to that junction, turning right in the middle of your overtake, which is not a good position to be in. So what else do we need to consider before we actually move into the overtake? Well, what's the reaction of the car in front going to be? I've got an M2 competition in front of me at the moment. Are they going to give me an aggressive response? Are they going to suddenly put the foot down? Or are they just going to carry on driving at the pace that they're driving at now? Clearly they're comfortable with the pace that they're driving at. We've caught up with them and we want to continue at our own pace. So there's your justification for an overtake. You don't need any more justification than that. Especially in a police advanced course, they will be looking for you to make maximum progress and for you to really start getting some overtakes in and showing how you can get past these slow vehicles and overtake at every opportunity. What else do I need to take into account? Well, I want to look in the mirror. I want to see if there's somebody more aggressive than us and somebody more pushy than us who's looking for the overtake, because again, I don't want to be the vehicle that moves out when they're in the middle of their overtake. And then I've got to think about what's coming towards us or what isn't coming towards us. So I've got to think about the vehicles that are coming towards us in the distance. Have I got enough time to get out, completely overtake, get back in again, without coming into conflict with those vehicles coming towards us. If I can't see any vehicles coming towards us, I've got to use my imagination. I've got to imagine it's us coming the other way, or that it's a high performance motorcycle or a high performance car coming the other way really, really quickly. Can I get out, complete that overtake, get back in again to the near side before we come into any conflict with that imaginary vehicle coming the other way? So remember, we base our plans on what we can see, what we can't see, and what we can reasonably expect to happen. And if we can't see a vehicle coming the other way, we can reasonably expect for something to come into view, maybe travelling at speed as well. So we've got to take that into account. I've got to take into account the performance of the car that I'm driving, my performance, by which I mean my ability or my skills or my confidence or my experience in overtaking. Now, just because you might drive a low performance car doesn't mean you won't be able to get overtakes in. It's just you need a bit longer and you need a bit more time to get the car up to speed. So you need a longer gap in traffic and a longer view to get the overtake. Weather conditions, you've got to take into account visibility and how far you can see down the road. Today it's a lovely clear day up in the Highlands of Scotland, so that's not going to be a bar to us, but the road surface is a little bit jiggly in places, and I'm going to take that into account when I start looking at overtakes. So let's start by looking at a three-phase overtake, and the first phase I've already completed. I've caught up with the car in front and I've put myself in a following position, a nice 2-second gap behind that car in front. So now I'm going to start looking for the view. Now, you might think that a straight like that is the best place to start looking for an overtake, but actually off a right-hander can be a really, really good place to look for an overtake. So in order to get the best view on the approach to this right-hander, I'm going to position near side. I'm all the way over to the left, or the best part of the near side. And what that does is it gives me a better view past the car in front. I can see further around the right-hander. So from that near side position, I can get a good long view down the road. Now the next corner that I'm coming into is a left-hander, so I'm going to start my view up the near side, and as I get close to the bend, I'm going to move offside. And I might move fully offside like this to get the view. But it's really important to know that what I'm not doing when I'm moving out for the view like this is accelerating. I am not looking with my right foot. Here again, I can move out and confirm the view, and I might decide that that overtake is on. But if I decide that it isn't on, then I can move back in again into the following position. We've not compromised the following position, we've not moved too close to the car in front, and I've not committed to the overtake. I'm only going to commit to the overtake when I'm absolutely certain that that overtake is perfectly on and it's a nice straightforward overtake. So let's put the car into manual mode and let's start looking for opportunities, and when we see those opportunities we're going to take them. So I'm going to change down a couple of gears because I've got a right-hander coming up. So on the approach to the right, I'm going to start with a position near the centre line, and then I'm going to move near side, and as we get to the corner I'm going to take a lower gear again, 4th gear, checking the mirrors. Got one vehicle in the distance catching up, but he's not going to be a problem to me. Now I can see in the distance there's a camper van and some other vehicles coming towards me, so the overtake isn't on at the moment, but my next view is down the near side of this car. Then I'm moving to the centre line, down 1 gear, checking the mirrors, moving offside, and then I'm going to put the foot down. Just move into the overtake, check the mirrors and move back in again. And it's this mirror I'm checking, the centre mirror. I don't want to check the near side mirror because that can bring you in a little bit close. So I'm moving along at my own pace again now, catching up with the car in front. Oh, what do you know, it's another blue M2 competition. They're so common, these cars, they're all over the place. Now, I'm going to take a lower gear, straight into a rolling overtake in that case. So a rolling overtake is when you catch up with the vehicle in front, you can see that the overtake's on, you don't need to get into a following position, you can just immediately overtake them. So rolling along at my own pace again now. It's like we're catching up with another slow moving vehicle up ahead. So I'm going to start by moving into a following position. Oh, it's an M2 competition again. Oh well. So the starting point is we catch up with the vehicle in front, and I want to keep a nice tight following position. I will do another video on positioning, including following position, in this series of videos, but for now we're just going to maintain a 2-second, in these conditions on a car this size, we're just going to maintain a good 2-second following position, and I'm going to move around looking for the overtake. Now in the distance I can see the road's bending not just left but then right again. I'm going to go down a couple of gears, a bit more flexibility. I'm going to position near side to look past the car in front, and I'm looking for the opportunity to present itself. There's a break in the lines there, the centre line breaks from solid to broken. Oh, nice turn there in the Suzuki, well done. But I'm positioning near side here and looking past the car in front. In the distance I can see there is a camper van coming towards us, otherwise I might be tempted to overtake on that left-hander, but at the moment that's not on. But I'm just going to maintain this following position now. Checking the mirrors. There's a car that's caught up with, there's a little Skoda. I don't think he's going to be an issue to us. I'm looking for the opportunity, checking the mirrors, keeping a position towards the near side. And I've got the car in a good flexible gear, it's in 4th gear at the moment. Now I'm going to move to the offside and look. Down to 3rd gear, that opportunity is on. We'll move sideways and then accelerate smartly past the car, checking the mirrors and then bringing it into the near side. One of the important things to note as well is I'm not using all the car's performance for the overtake. I'm only going for the overtakes that are really nice and obviously on, without me having to try too hard. If I'm using all the car's performance for an overtake, well, I've not got much left really, have I? So I'm just going to use enough performance to get past the vehicle. The other thing as well is, once I've moved sideways and committed to the overtake by pressing the accelerator, at that point, for me, the overtake is done. Whether I'm still behind the vehicle or not, the overtake is done and complete. And my vision and my focus and my thought process is on what's next. What's the next hazard? What's the next thing that we're coming up to? So let's close up on this slow moving vehicle. Oh, it's an M2 again. Well, here we've got a lovely opportunity. No, we haven't. So I was just thinking we had an opportunity to do a rolling overtake, and then the black Discovery came into view. So I'm just going to hold a nice following position now. I'm going to change down to 4th gear for a bit more flexibility. I'm going to keep my position near side. As we come off this right-hander, if the opportunity presents itself, I'll move offside and then put my foot down into the overtake. And I'm thinking about what's next. And you'll see that I'm off the gas. Just as I'm alongside the car that I'm overtaking, I'm off the gas. I'm using the momentum that I've already generated to get back in front of it, just to roll the car back to the speed that I want to drive at. So many people just hammer the foot into the floor, squeeze that gas as hard as they can, and then they end up travelling at 30-40 miles an hour too fast for the next corner or bend or whatever it is. So I'm rolling up into a fallen position. On the blue car in front, an M2 again. And I'm going to look for the opportunity off this right hand bend. So, match the speed, down 2 gears, position to the near side, look for the opportunity. There's a sign up ahead for another right-hander, so that's not enough opportunity to go there, but maybe off this next right-hander there will be an opportunity. And one little tip is you can use the sat-nav if you like, just to show you an idea of where the road's going and where the opportunities might be. So I can see on the sat-nav off this right-hander there's a bit of a left-hander, so this might not be an opportunity to overtake. But then off the left-hander there's a bit of a straight, so on approach to a left-hander what I'm going to do is position near side, get the view up the near side, then when I get close to the corner I'm going to move to the centre line, and I'm going to move into the overtake. And we'll completely overtake, I'm off the gas, there's the throwback arrows, well back in time for the centre line, and then back on the gas again for the left-hander, for the right-hander. case you haven't guessed by now, that is a friend of mine driving the M2. He's not just somebody who's really, really inconsistent on the speed. So back into a following position again. See if we can demonstrate another overtake. Checking the mirrors. Bit of a left-hander coming up, so I'm positioning near side for the view. Down a couple of gears. Down one more gear. Move sideways as I get the view. Only once I'm fully offside am I really committing to the gas pedal. And now for a rolling overtake is where you catch up with the vehicle in front. You can see that the overtake's on from a good distance back, and all you need to do is move your position out and roll past them. So we're rolling up to this car in front now. I'm just going to move sideways for the view, and without changing my speed we just roll past them nicely, almost like the kind of overtake that you do on the motorway. So I haven't caught them and matched them, I've just caught them, rolled out, past them, and it's a nice rolling or momentum overtake. Now I have made loads of videos about overtaking, so I put all the links in the description below. There's things about following position and you know, different types of overtakes and some demonstrations on different roads. They are a fairly straightforward manoeuvre, but some people are nervous about them. You don't need to be. As long as you apply those principles, then you should be able to overtake safely. But remember, we're looking for the opportunity, not looking for the overtake. Once the opportunity presents itself, then we've got a decision to make as to whether we take that opportunity or not. So what are the different organisations looking for? Well, at IM and ROSPA, even at police standard, you can pass those tests without getting an overtaking. I don't want you to go out there forcing an overtake or looking to get, thinking that I as an examiner desperately want to see you do an overtake. I don't. I can learn just as much about you and your abilities by watching you follow another vehicle and move around for the view and look for the opportunities and take a lower gear and prepare yourself for the overtake, as I can by actually watching you take the overtake itself. But if one presents itself and it's a beauty and it's wrapped up with a bow on top and a big message saying please take me, it's a really obvious one, then I want you to take that overtake. It's really important that you do. Other than that, you know, you're going to be passing cyclists, you may be passing tractors. I'll be able to watch your overtaking ability passing those slow moving vehicles if I need to. For police advanced, however, you need a different mindset. Police advanced, as we've mentioned before, the training and the exams, the tests are carried out with an exemption from speed limits, and you're especially going to use that exemption from speed limits on national speed limit roads. So when the opportunities present themselves, there is an expectation every time that you take that opportunity. Your examiners will mark you down if you miss an overtake. So you have to essentially have a burning desire inside of you. That's how it was described to me when I did my police advanced car course all those years ago. You've got to have a burning desire to get past that vehicle in front. If you catch up with something slower, you need to be able to show the examiner that you know how to overtake. So for those of you doing a police advanced car course, you catch up with something slower, the important thing is don't go to sleep. Get up there, match them, get in a following position, get a flexible gear, and don't relax. Keep looking for that opportunity. At some stage it will present itself. So your examiners on your police advanced car course will be looking to see you moving the car around, maximising the view that you've got down the road. They'll want to see you positioning right up to the centre line, over the centre line sometimes, right into the fully on the offside position, but without accelerating, without looking with your right foot. So that's it for this video, very straightforward. Like I say, I'll put a link in the description below for all the other videos that cover all the subjects relating to overtaking. Go and have a look at some of those videos. And just remember, this video is one in a series about how to pass an advanced driving test. So if you want to see some of the other videos, if you want to get a notification every time I upload a new video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Press the notifications button. You'll get an email every time I upload a new video. And also go and have a look at the website, reglocal.com. Loads more information there about advanced and performance driving and riding. Information about the books that I've written about how you can get a day's driver or rider coaching with me. Drop me an email, we'll sort something out. But for now, thanks very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the video. I'll see you next time.